Welcome to Doggone Fortunes, where every pet has something to say. There's a dog coming through this reading who has definitely been trying to say something. I'm getting this feeling that something has changed lately. It doesn't necessarily feel like some huge dramatic event. For some of you, it could be something as simple as your schedule changing, you working more, or you've taken on more responsibilities. Maybe there's somebody new taking up more of your time. But your dog has noticed. And I keep getting this image of a dog watching their person. You know how they do that? You're getting your shoes on, you're grabbing your keys, walking toward the door, and they're watching every single little move. Like, are we going somewhere? Am I coming? Is this something we're doing together? Because there's something your dog misses. And as we get deeper into this reading, I think we're going to find out that this isn't just about wanting another walk or wanting you to throw the ball a few more times. There's something underneath it. So let's get into your reading and see what your dog has been trying to tell you. Okay, so right away, there's the change I was picking up on. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. And this tells me that something about your dog's world isn't quite the same as it used to be. Now, obviously, your dog doesn't understand your calendar. They don't know that you've got deadlines. They don't know, you've got bills to pay. They don't understand why you're suddenly working different hours or why something else in your life needs more of your attention now. They just know what life with you normally feels like. And when that changes, they notice. And look at this hangdog card. The thing that immediately catches my attention is that leash. It's just lying there. There's this feeling of waiting around for something to happen. And then beside that, we have together. So your dog is making this pretty simple for us. They miss doing something with you. For some of you, yes, this could literally be walks. Maybe the walks have gotten shorter. Maybe you're not going as frequently. Maybe there was somewhere you used to take them and you haven't been there lately. But I don't want to limit this to walking. This could be riding in the car. It could be going to the park or sitting outside together, playing, going to, visit somebody. It could be curling up together at a certain time every night. Whatever your particular ritual is, your dog seems to recognize that something about that shared time has changed. And what's interesting is that I don't get anger from this. I get, a sense of, I miss you, even if you're sitting 10 feet away from them. There's a difference between, being in the same room with your dog and actually being with your dog. And I think that's the distinction they're making here. Now, this gets even more specific because the Hierophant is bringing me straight into routine. Your dog knows your routine probably better than you realize. They know approximately when you wake up. They know what happens before you leave the house. They know what certain clothes mean. They know the sound of the treat container. They know what happens before a walk. And somehow they always know when you're getting ready to leave without them. You can try to sneak around all you want. They know. And that's where scrying becomes really interesting. Because I'm getting that watching energy again. This dog is paying attention. They're looking for the familiar signals that tell them what's about to happen. And then we have the Wanderer. Look at this dog. This dog is basically packed. Where are we going? I'm ready. There's a curiosity here. There's adventure. There's wanting to experience something outside of the same environment. So for some of you, your dog may genuinely be asking for a little bit more stimulation. It doesn't have to mean taking them on some enormous adventure every weekend. Your dog's idea of an incredible day might literally be sniffing around somewhere they've never sniffed before. But I think the bigger message is, include me. Your dog wants to feel like they're still part of your life rather than just waiting for you to come back from it. And there's something else beginning to show up here. Your dog may be more sensitive to changes in their routine than you have realized, because the next part of this reading starts explaining why all of this matters so much. This is where I think we need to look underneath the behavior. We've got the Two of Swords, justice, and health. And immediately I get this feeling of balance. There may be somebody watching this who has been stretched pretty thin lately. You're trying to balance work. You're trying to balance home, other people, responsibilities. Maybe, you have other pets. Maybe you're just tired. And your dog isn't sitting there thinking, wow, my human really needs to work on their work-life balance. They don't know any of that. They experience the result. So if you've been feeling guilty because you haven't had as much time lately, I don't think this reading is here to pile more guilt onto you. Actually, I think it's doing the opposite. It's showing you what your dog needs in a very simple way. They need some balance too. Because the health card tells me that these little experiences are part of your dog's overall well-being. The walk isn't just the walk. The play isn't just the play. It's stimulation. It's connection. It's movement. It's having something to look forward to. It's time with you. And with the Two of Swords here, something may have gotten a little stuck. The same house, the same room, the same routine, waiting, watching. And your dog is basically nudging you through this reading and saying, can we shake things up a little bit? But then the reading takes another turn. Because when I asked what your dog actually wants more of from you, I got something much more emotional than exercise. Okay, here it is. The Queen of Cups, Three of Leashes, and jealous. Somebody's dog is a little bit jealous. Now, before anybody starts feeling bad, I don't read this as your dog saying, you must pay attention to me 24 hours a day. That's not what I'm saying. The Queen of Cups is emotional closeness. It's all about affection, nurturing, that feeling of knowing somebody is emotionally there with you. And then we've got the Three of Leashes. In this particular dog tarot, leashes deal with things like limitation, control, and possessiveness. But the three is important because three represents balance. So your dog isn't asking to completely control your attention. They're asking for a little bit more balance. And then jealous tells us why this may have become noticeable. Something else may be getting more of you lately. For some people, that could be another animal. Maybe there's a new puppy in the household. Maybe there's a cat in the house who has somehow managed to convince everybody that they own the property, which, let's be fair, sounds like a cat. It could be a partner, children, work. It could be your phone. It could simply be that your attention is going in 10 directions at once. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is because these are collective readings and that piece will be different for everybody. But your dog seems to be saying, hey, remember me over here? And here's where I think this becomes really sweet. I don't think the jealousy is necessarily coming from selfishness. I think it may be coming from insecurity. Because when I ask about the bond between you and your dog, we got cards that went much deeper than I expected. First, we've got the Three of Cups. And I love seeing this here because this is all about happiness. It's companionship. It's enjoying each other's company. There's genuine joy in this relationship. Your dog likes you. And yes, obviously we assume our dogs love us, but this feels like more than dependence. Your dog actually enjoys who you are to them. You're their companion. You are associated with good things. You're associated with fun. But then we have the kibble. And I want to explain this one because this dog tarot has its own system and the kibble has a very particular meaning. This isn't simply about food. The kibble goes into a dog's deepest survival needs. It's about security and resources and that instinctive feeling of, am I okay? Am I safe? Do I have what I need? And dogs can carry those instincts very deeply. Sometimes even when there's absolutely nothing wrong in their current environment. Maybe you've given this dog the cushiest life imaginable. They have 3 beds and somehow still sleep in yours. They've got toys everywhere. They've got food. They've got love. They've got everything. And they can still have insecurities. That's important because next to the kibble, we have the dog catcher. And this card talks about a difficult emotion, memory, or a pattern that a dog may have trouble escaping. Sometimes there's something currently triggering it. Other times it's deeper. It could come from their history, their temperament, an old experience, or simply an instinctive fear that they carry. And that makes me look at the jealousy completely differently. Your dog may not be thinking, "How dare you pay attention to somebody else?" It may be closer to, "Wait, something changed. Am I still okay? Do I still have my place?" And suddenly all that watching from earlier makes sense. The waiting makes sense. The desire to be included makes sense. Even that unused leash makes sense. This dog may use togetherness as reassurance. Being with you tells them that everything's okay. And then we have the one card. And look at the imagery here. There's this feeling of cooperation, of unity, of a sense of we're together, we're on the same team. And I think this may be the most important thing your dog wants you to understand. Your dog doesn't need to be the only thing in your world. They just need to know that they still have their place in it. Because to your dog, the relationship between the two of you isn't casual. Like I said, you're a team. And there's something almost funny and heartbreaking about dogs in that way. We have these enormous lives outside of them. We have our work, we have our friends, family. We have appointments, phones, errands, problems, plans. Our brains are constantly somewhere else, but your dog's world is much smaller. And you occupy a very large part of it. So when your routine changes, they notice. When your attention changes, they notice. When you're stressed out, they notice. When you're gone more often, they notice. They may not understand why. They just know something feels different. And that's why I think this reading started with the Wheel of Fortune. The whole message has been about your dog adapting to change. But we're not finished. Because I pulled one final card for your direct message from your pet. And after everything we've just seen, this card is kind of perfect. Okay, this is my favorite part of Doggone Fortunes. Your direct message from your pet. And your dog says, "Oh, you're my happiness." Yeah, that pretty much says it. The message with this card is about finding happiness in the little things. And I think that's exactly what your dog has been trying to tell you throughout this entire reading. They don't need some elaborate life. They don't care whether the house is spotless. They don't care how much money you make. They don't care whether you've accomplished everything you thought you were supposed to accomplish by now. They care about the tiny things, like the little walks, sitting beside you, going for a ride, getting 5 uninterrupted minutes where you're actually looking at them instead of your phone, hearing you say their name, following you into a room for absolutely no reason other than the fact that you're in there. Those little moments that barely register in your day may be some of the biggest moments in theirs. And that's why I don't think your dog's message is, "You aren't doing enough for me." I think it's, "I love being with you. I feel safe with you. And when life gets busy or things change, sometimes I just need a little reminder that we're still us." We started this reading with together. Then later, we got one. And now we're ending with, "You're my happiness." That's the whole story. Your dog has been trying to tell you that the thing that they want the most isn't necessarily another toy, another treat, or some huge adventure. It's connection. It's reassurance. It's knowing that no matter how much the world around the two of you changes, there's still a place beside you that belongs to them. And maybe today, give them a little extra time there. So if this reading sounded suspiciously like your dog, let me know by giving the video a like and subscribe to Doggone Fortunes if you'd like to hear more messages from your pets. And remember, here at Doggone Fortunes, every pet has something to say. Sometimes we just have to listen a little differently. I'll see you in the next reading.